I have a problem. As if I even needed to tell you that. No, I mean a specific problem. In a previous video, I cut down a bunch of trees over here doing some thinning. Now I have this big mess to clean up. Some of these logs are good size to put on my mill, which brings us to the problem. A couple months ago, I did a video saying I wasn't going to do any more logging or milling until I sell the lumber that I already have, which has just been accumulating, which I have not sold a single stick of, which I think is partly related to the fact that I haven't even tried. Well, it's been raining a lot lately and I've been really busy not selling lumber. I really want to get that spot cleaned up before spring for reasons which I will get to in a future video. But if I start logging and milling again, when I told thousands of people on that video, I'm not going to do that until I sell my lumber, that's a problem, which I think only has one logical solution. I need to come up with a loophole, which I may have found. I don't think I said I have to sell all the lumber. I could go back and look at the video to confirm, but as they say, ignorance is ignorance. In one of my recent videos, I used a piece of lumber to cut into pieces to put under my shipping container. I didn't sell the lumber, I used it myself. But what if I was to take this dollar, give it to myself for that piece of lumber? That means I just sold myself that piece of lumber, which means I sold my lumber. I'm off the hook. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid. Let's get to work. I decided to cut more of this one into firewood. On a previous video I talked about sun scald. I found a sun scald scar on this one. Sun scald scar, try saying that 18 times fast. This is a sun scald scar. And when a Douglas fir sun scalds, it can cause the inside of it to be rotten like this. So I cut it all the way back to solid wood. And this is one of the reasons why I left all that firewood material over there in a previous video. Just left it to rot. It's so much more efficient for me to cut firewood in a place like this. By the time I get done cleaning up this mess and take out a bunch more trees I need to take out, I'll have so much firewood. I have no need for that firewood over there that's going to be inefficient to cut. I'm cutting these into 8-foot multiples. First I cut them into 32s so I can get them all out in one piece. Now that they're in, I'll cut them into 2 more manageable 16s. I'm measuring this one from the top end because the butt end is rotten. Any waste will come off that end. Then I decided to cut 3 of these smaller trees away from the bigger trees. Since I have a mess here to clean up, I might as well clean up their mess with it, instead of having to clean their mess up some other day. Those bigger trees should appreciate having those smaller ones gone. If not, we'll see if I ever do them a favor again. This next one, I was pretty sure it was leaning the wrong way. As expected, it's starting to tip back on me. I didn't have any wedges with me, but that's okay. This one has a really good setup to use another technique. Now these logs got hung up on this log. It's going to be a little bit difficult to get the hung up logs unhung up because the unhung up logs are in the way of getting the hung up logs unhung up, which is quite a hang up. So I decided to unhook the hung up logs so I could pull the unhung up logs out of the way of the hung up logs. Now the unhung up logs just got hung up. It's a bad camera angle to see what I did, but let's just say I fixed it. We're getting too many logs here in one spot. They're just going to keep getting hung up. We'll change the angle of the pull to try to get the original hung up ones unhung up. The reason the tractor looks like it's smoking so much is that low angled sun is shining right through it, lighting it up. Now we'll cut these 32s into more manageable 16s. and get my saw stuck, which was not supposed to happen, especially not on camera. Fortunately, the PV is nearby. I still don't know how so many people manage to get through life without having a PV. Now this log is pushing that log where I don't want it to go. Now it's still trying to push it where I don't want it to go. Things were going so smooth there for a while. And things were going so well there for a while. We're getting too many logs here in the way. And no, hanging the blocks up high in a tree to give the log some lift is not going to help here. We're missing a little ingredient for that. These little oaks are not going to do it. Have you noticed anything different about the tractor? The winch is not squeaking and squawking like it used to. I've had a lot of people in the comments tell me all the things I should do to keep that winch from squeaking, telling me to grease this, grease that. I didn't see any of them get it right. There's a lever up in here that operates the drum brake. When the line's going in and out without much tension on it, that brake rubs against the drum to keep the drum from free spooling and creating a tangle in there. I enabled that brake when this line was new. That's really the only time you need that brake is with a new line, because the new line is a little bit stiff and it can act like a recoil spring. But after it gets some age on it, it conforms to the drum and you just don't need it anymore. Now to figure out what to do with all these logs. Some of these are too small for the mill, but some of them will be good on the mill. Then what to do with the lumber. I could sell it to myself. Let's see, if I was to sell it to myself low, then sell it back to myself high. Not sure what that would accomplish. Have to figure that out. Or if I could get these deer involved. If I was to sell it to myself low, then sell it to them high, then if they sell it back to me, not sure how that would work. If there's money in it, I think they'd be down for it. They look like good capitalists to me. I'm going to have to do some thinking on that. Maybe figure out some kind of interspecies arbitrage. There's got to be some profit in that somewhere. I'll keep you posted.